Hello there. Welcome. Welcome to your Friday forecast. It's Psychic Cynthia here, and this is your cosmic forecast for the week ahead. And this would be for the week ahead of Monday, October 19th through October 25th in the year 2020. Welcome. And happy new moon. This video will be releasing out on Friday, the day of the new moon in Libra. So happy new moon in Libra as well. Happy rebirth to you all. Happy renewal. And in this week ahead, we're going to have a shifting in energies later in the week, but with an emphasis on the earthy energies of Venus in Virgo. And she will be blessing us all with some lovely trines that will give us renewed power and energy for making progress in the realm of relationships, in the realm of self-worth, in the realm of finances perhaps, and career. So that's a little snapshot about the week ahead before we really jump into the in-depth forecast. Are you ready? Well, let's get started, shall we? And again, we're doing the forecast for the week ahead of October 19th to October 25th, 2020. And the major shift happening this week is going to be the sun is changing signs. So the sun will be moving on, let's see, I believe that's Thursday, according to my notes here. Thursday, October 22nd, again, that's 2020. The sun will be moving from Libra into Scorpio. So for this week, happy birthday, all you late degree Libras, and happy birthday, all you early Scorpios. So we're transitioning from that time of late Libra into early Scorpio. And Scorpio is a most amazing sign. It gets a bad reputation, I know, because it's very misunderstood. But it is a sign with amazing power and energy. And it is a sign of great regeneration. It is also the sign of death and transformation. And you can really see that quite viscerally and literally in the physical world in this time of year. At least here in the northern hemisphere, we see the death energies with Scorpio. It's very visible to the physical eyes because this is the time when typically in most places in the northern hemisphere that have hard frost, if you haven't already had a hard frost, then typically at some point during the time that the sun is in Scorpio, you will have that first hard frost. Now, I'm not saying that will happen this week, although for the region that I'm living at and the gardening zone, it's going to be happening soon. So gardeners, get your plants in. I'm working on that this week. In fact, you notice I like to film these videos in my fairy den, as I call it. It's the part of my garden I really have decorated up for entertaining with lots of plants. But I've been taking a lot of those plants in, and probably next week when I film there will be less, or I'll film somewhere else. So yes, there's a poignancy with this time of year as we move into the time that the sun is in Scorpio, and that will be starting this Thursday in the week ahead on October 22nd, and then lasting until I believe November 21st, when we have another sign change into Sagittarius for the sun. You can really feel it. You can feel the changes in the air. This is the sign of transformation. I mean, in a way, all the signs hold some power, some wisdom relating to change and transformation. But Scorpio is the sign that defines death and the transformation that can follow. And it is the sad part, perhaps, or the difficult part about transformation is that there must be death, and there must be decay, and there must be letting go in order for there to be rebirth and transformation. So this is what we will be focused on. You know, this is what our guides, I feel, want us to focus on in the weeks ahead. In the next 4 weeks ahead, it's one of the themes that we will be working with on a more conscious level. Now keep in mind that this is also happening against the backdrop of Mercury in retrograde. And yes, we did just have Mercury enter retrograde. Literally, on the day I'm filming this video, it just entered it yesterday, but by the time you watch this video, Mercury will have been in retrograde for a few days, and maybe longer, depending on when you watch it. So Mercury retrograde itself is a time of cleansing and purging and letting go and getting renewed. And now you add the Sun in Scorpio on top of that later this week. So you can see there'll be an emphasis on letting go. But it isn't only that with the Sun in Scorpio. Scorpio is a very intense sign. It brings up intense emotions, so we will be feeling more deeply. And that can be used for good, actually. It's a double-edged sword. You know, empathy and feelings and emotions, these can work for us or against us, depending on how conscious we are and how responsible and allowing we are in dealing with our own emotions. So that could be another video. That could be a whole video all by itself. But for now, I'll just say that this is a good time to begin to pay more attention to your emotions and to find a way to channel that emotional energy. Channel it. Push it into, pour it into something productive, something constructive, something beautiful. Even if you have sadness, even if you have anger or grief or disappointment, this can be utilized. It can be used to create beauty, to make art, or if you're not feeling that inspired, it can be used to clean the house or get paperwork done. Don't let your frustrations, your resentments hang on inside. That's part of the lesson of Scorpio. The shadow side of Scorpio is hanging on to resentments. It's becoming obsessed, especially obsessed with the past, but you could become fixated on having something you can't have right now at the moment. And all of these things can become quite toxic. It's like toxic sludge inside if you let that build up. But if you have an artistic or a musical or a career channel, or even just channeling it into loving your family more deeply, that is a high accomplishment. Very high, very meaningful. Any of you out there watching this who are house mothers or house fathers or caregivers or nurturers, don't ever forget that is some of the most sacred work on the planet. And even though the world doesn't reward it currently with lots of money or honor, Spirit sees, Spirit knows there is honor in your karma, there is honor in your past, and that's what really matters in the eternal sense. So a little bit about that, a little bit about the waves that we will be flowing on in the next 4 weeks ahead with Sun in Scorpio. And that shift will be, really it's taking place already. By the time you watch this video, you're already going to feel, because the late part of Libra feels a little bit like the early part of Scorpio. There's sort of a blending there. But certainly by the middle to end of this week of October 19th through October 25th, you're going to start feeling that energy of going deeper. You're also going to notice, I think, I could be wrong, now there's a lot of retrogrades, so you have to weigh it with that right now. We have both Mars and Mercury in retrograde. So that creates a kind of unfocusing for many people. People can lose equilibrium easily. You could lose equilibrium easily or become overwhelmed. The key to that is to make sure you prioritize, and you prioritize enough of the right stuff. And what I mean by that is if you're losing focus or you're constantly overwhelmed, or, life has lost its sparkle, its glitter, then that is a definite sign that you're not getting enough, maybe not any, of the things that inspire you spiritually or creatively, the things that uplift you, the fun in life, the joy. You need to make that a priority, okay? That's where your energy comes from. I know a lot of times we think of creative interest or spiritual interest or musical interest. We just, in our mainstream society, it's so asleep. It's so ignorant really about this. And so we get these messages that those are just extra, right? That you pursue your passions and interests after you did all your work. And really there has to be a balance there. And you hear that phrase work-life balance. Well, that's bullshit. I want you to take that out of your vocabulary and flip it around to more like a life-work balance. Or how about a life-joy balance? Anyway, in order to stay focused, in order to stay energized, and to get the most out of these Scorpio energies, which are very energizing, but you don't want to be undermined by the retrogrades. In order to stay energized, in order to utilize this other good energy, strong energy coming in, you're going to need to make sure you're feeding yourself spiritually, creatively, with your joy, with your passion. So do make time for your interest. Make time for you, whatever it is that you enjoy doing. And especially if you enjoy sharing it with others or just with yourself. And I don't know what that is for you. It could be so many things. I do recommend music. Music is wonderful. If you don't have an interest, why don't you play an instrument or listen to some fun music for you? I know you can't just pick up an instrument and play it tomorrow, but you can learn, okay? Music and dance, or learning some form of crocheting or knitting or sewing. Picking up a foreign language, that's something I've been thinking about again. I haven't done it, I confess, but I'm slow. I have to think about these things a long time sometimes, and then I do actually do them. I've got plenty of interest right now that I am doing. So I don't know what it is for you. It could be working on motorcycles. It could be fixing up the house. It could be producing a podcast. There are so many interests. But you have something inside of you, something that brings you joy. And get a little bit of that in your diet, so to speak, during this time so that your energies don't get too low. And then lean into the Scorpio energy. Yes, it's a little bit obsessive, but maybe some of you out there watching could use a little bit of obsessiveness, especially if you're just not doing anything right now. Maybe it's time to pick something good and healthy and uplifting, okay? And get a little bit more focused on that. I think the Scorpio energy will help us all with that. Do be watchful of the tendency towards resentment, towards carrying baggage, towards being really overly obsessed with, a person or a goal. Secrecy is another thing. I think sometimes it comes up with Scorpio. I'm not totally against secrecy. I know a lot of people are nowadays, and a lot of people think you have to say everything and share everything. Personally, I think we live in a society where there's oversharing at times. There is, something to be said for your privacy, okay? And other people's privacy, to respect that. But you don't want to have like 6 secrets, you know what I mean? There is a difference between having privacy and carrying around, things that you're hiding that maybe really do need to air out. So maybe that's something, if you're not sure on that, that's something to explore with your therapist, your counselor, maybe possibly your psychic reader. I mean, actually, if you're carrying a lot of secrets, a lot of weight, a lot of things inside, you probably do need to get some counseling, okay? That is going to be something you have to deal with. All right. So enough on that. I mean, that really does give you the big snapshot of what the major shift is happening in the week ahead. And, oh yes, Venus. I did mention that in the beginning. Let's not forget about lovely Lady Venus. She's wearing the clothes of Virgo. That is her sign. So Venus is more about the, sensual, earthy side when she's in Virgo. And a lot of people think of Virgo as kind of a prim and proper sign, but if you've ever known any Virgos, that's just not always true, I have to say. And they can be very sensual people. And people of the earth, and people, yes, they can enjoy pleasure, but they also like to enjoy perfection, that's true, and getting things just right and organized. So we're having a few Venus trines this week. Let's see, 3 of them. On Monday, October 19th, we have Venus trine Jupiter in Capricorn. Then on Wednesday, October 21st, we have Venus trine Pluto in Capricorn. And then on Saturn's day, Saturday, October 24th, we have Venus trine Saturn in Capricorn. So you can hear when I'm rattling off these different Venus trines. And by the way, trine is a triangle, just like it sounds. And that is considered a positive boon, a lift. And Venus in general is considered positive, but it depends. It depends on what she's making relationships with and how. Now, Virgo and Capricorn energies are being highlighted here. So those of you who have Virgo, Capricorn strong, even Taurus, you're going to probably feel a little extra boom. But this is for everybody, okay, regardless of your sign, because Venus likes to shine down. She's a gracious hostess, so she'll shine down on us all and bring us blessings this week ahead in the love realm. In the luck realm, maybe not the most gigantic luck, I don't know. Venus trine Jupiter on Monday, that's pretty good. So if you're going to, I don't know, buy a lottery ticket, or, you know, you want to move forward in some sort of career move, I think that Monday might be all right for that. Now, there is another aspect on Monday I just want to make you aware of. And actually, you'll be feeling this particular aspect even if you watch the video when it comes out ahead of time on the Friday before. So Mars is gearing it for another square to Jupiter. And that is, it's exact technically on Monday, but it's very early, so it's actually Sunday night of the week before. But this is one of those aspects you'll feel it a few days before and after. So this gives us great energy, great courage. So early in the week, you're going to have more courage and more energy in a lot of ways, an extra boost at least to get things done. Even with Mercury retrograde, even with Mars retrograde. By the way, I've got videos on Mars retrograde. Search this channel if you want to watch that. And the last 2 or 3 forecasts I've talked about Mercury retrograde, so just go back to the last few weeks. And also I have special videos about Mercury retrograde. So if you need to know more about that, by all means, arm yourself with the knowledge you need to get through this time in the best way possible to thrive. But getting back to early in this week with Mars square Jupiter, that does give you, it's almost like a Viking, a Viking push, that you are fearless and you have more energy, more courage momentarily, at the end of this week, actually, closer to the day this comes out, the weekend before, I guess that would be like the 16th through the 18th, and then going on into Monday, and maybe Tuesday too. So take advantage of that if you have anything you need energy or courage for. I mean, even on a small level, it could just be dealing with some paperwork or some business stuff you've been putting off, or things like that. That's a nice little push. But the rest of the week, I mean, we have all these Venus trines, and we don't often have those in the whole week. So think about moving ahead in career, because Venus is trining, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn, and that's your career sign, okay? It's also a higher spiritual sign in that it's about your mission, your purpose. So be open to positive energies, positive vibes in regards to going forward on your purpose, if you have a sense of that. And if you don't, maybe you'll get more of a sense of that. So in all, I mean, it doesn't look like the worst week ahead. I think there is a lot of positive energies. Now, again, that Sun in Scorpio is pretty intense. And, if you don't do well with intense, if you don't do well with emotions and feelings, that might be a little bit hard on you. But, maybe you can learn, right? We can all learn. So I think that's it. That's a wrap. If I need to say any more, I'll make a separate video. But again, happy birthday to all you late degree Libras. Happy birthday to all you early degree Scorpio. And happy new moon to you all. May we all survive Mercury retrograde, and not only survive, but thrive and be uplifted and find our renewal. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time on this channel. By the way, if you like what you see, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification button. And the videos for the forecast at least come out every Friday. At least that's how I'm doing it right now. And then I also have other videos that I do sometimes about runes and psychicism and other cool stuff. So even other aspects of astrology. So thank you again. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bright blessings.